Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wealth Wednesday. I'm your host, Dr. Kalpana Sundar, and with me is my co-host, Marisol Uribe. Hi, I hope all of you are doing well on this wonderful Wednesday. How are you, Marisol?
Amazing. Thank you so much. It is a blessing to be breathing, alive, at home, at the office, not at the hospital, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And today we have such an interesting topic because this is just something people don't think about. I think there are people who don't even know how to save. There are definitely those. And then there are people who are pretty responsible. They know how to save, but they don't know how to transfer that into something they can actually live on. So that's our conversation today, and I'm really excited about it. We're basically talking about turning savings into a paycheck that protects you and funds your life. So that's a really fun, dynamic topic, in my opinion, because who doesn't want to see how they could just live off their savings? It doesn't do you any good if it's just like a lump sum just sitting there, right?
Right. At some point, you have to take a look at your money and say, hey, is my money being lazy or is it actually working for me? And yes, we want to put those dollars to work for you.
I like that. Is my money being lazy? I love that. So for those of you who don't know, maybe you're just joining, I am a board certified ear, nose, and throat surgeon. I had my own practice for over 20 years. I had my own med spa, numerous businesses, very, very busy life. And I literally walked away from all that. And now what I do is I help high achievers, successful people, leaders basically protect their vitality, their wealth, and their impact. Because one thing I learned from my journey in medicine is that unfortunately it can be really successful, but it comes at a cost. And for me, it cost me everything. It cost me my vitality. It cost me, well, I had the wealth, but it just cost me a lot of the other wealth that I was looking for, relationships and things that were very meaningful to me. So anyway, that's what I want people to see in a more holistic way, that there's more to life than just making money and saving it. So that's really why we're going to get into this conversation today, because what good is it if it just sits there, right? Because many of us are told save, 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 but spending really feels scary for some reason. And there are a couple of reasons for that, because the market shifts, we live longer than we might expect, and those things are not really talked about that often. You just are told some very basic rules. Just make money, get a job, get a 401k, IRA, and save money. End of story, right?
Yeah, and really what you want to do is you want to accumulate and then you want to get a distribution at some point. And so if you haven't already begun to automate savings, take it from where it gets deposited to another area, which I recommend the book Profit First. If you
I
haven't read it, if you
love.
haven't listened to it, you can listen to it and get both, get the hard copy and listen to it at the same time for maximum retainment. And so, really, what you want to do is use the resources that are available to you to be able to fund your lifestyle, not just now, but in the future, considering that inflation will occur, taxes may rise and increase, and a myriad of other conditions that can occur throughout your life.
100%. So just to recap a little bit on Profit First, it talks about paying yourself first before you're paying all the debt and the bills and all of those things, and have it automatically deducted. So, I personally have multiple different accounts, something for taxes, something for travel, something for this, something for that. You can create whatever you want. And it just is such a smart way to do it, because then you don't just look at a lump sum in your bank account. You're looking at what's allocated for what, to see if you actually have money in there. Let's say you're a shopping freak and you like to buy clothes. Well, if there's no money in the clothes, bucket or a savings account, well, then you don't get to buy any. It's very, very simple. It takes all the guesswork and the emotion. I love that it takes the emotion out of it. You don't have it in that little bucket, you don't get to take it out.
Right. And so, once you're disciplined to do that, you're able to then fund your future projects, whatever that may look like for you. And Dr. Sundar is great about really giving you some sort of roadmap, right, on what it is that is your best designed life.
And that's important because I think traditionally in the financial world, we've just looked at, save X, you need this for retirement, just numbers. But you know what? There's an emotion that needs to happen and a connection that needs to happen with that number, meaning that you need to understand what kind of life you want to live. And when you can actually see that, when you imagine this life you want to live, I know very clearly for me what that is. It's funny how easy saving becomes. Because then when you're going to spend money on something potentially silly, let's say, you now are looking at it from the standpoint of, I'm going to take this from my future. Do I want to do that? That's not the same as an emotional spending. I'm actually doing a master class on this because many people spend emotionally. We get stressed, we spend emotionally. So I think there's so much to learn about money. And that's why I've always been fascinated with money because even though I feel like I'm pretty good at it, there's always things that I'm learning, ways to tweak it, ways to be better at it.
Right. So the idea would be for your core monthly bills to be covered by stable income, and all the other expenses can be covered differently. Maybe you turn to have different income, which, if you have a product or a service or have some sort of affiliate partnerships, sponsorships, depending on your line of work, you want to get more deposits than you are, say, swiping on a monthly basis. So the
Very
balance of those two, spending versus income, would be a good thing to take a look at today.
100%, 100%. And it's so important to really know exactly what is coming in and what is going out. And also, like you said, multiple income streams, that is very, very important. I don't think it's the way it used to be where we just rely on one income stream and that's it. It can't work that way anymore, unfortunately.
That's right. And so, last minute thoughts, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, drop them in the chat. We'd love to know what that is.
Yes. Absolutely. Always love hearing what you guys might want to hear about, anything that you have questions about, because really we're here to educate people, give you some insight, provide any information that we can. So one thing that I'm going to ask everybody to do, or, I think this is from Marisol and I, just a little quick homework for you guys after watching this quick 10-minute episode, because this didn't take that much of your time. So what are your non-negotiable monthly expenses, and which are actually covered by stable income?
Yes. And so if this resonated, take 5 minutes to really list this out and then identify, right, what it is that you want and identify what it is that actually comes in so we get an objective picture, and then write down what it is that you monetarily want to see hit your bank account. Not something hypothetical, but something real that we could work on hitting.
I totally agree. And even imagine just a little imagination exercise of just what you want your life to look like in the future. Me in particular, just to share, I'm not sure that I don't want to work. I just don't want to have to work. And for me, that makes all the difference in the world. So I think sometimes we really should spend a few minutes even identifying the type of life that we want in the future as we get older.
I'll share too. I love the time freedom and the location freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be tied down to a location, and I want to be able to service people from all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I share that as well. I don't want to be locked into anything like that. I think that's why both of us left medicine. You wound up getting trapped within someplace, the OR, the office, the hospital. It just
The
didn't.
jail. Yeah, the list goes on and on. I love it.
Exactly. So I'm going to share this for the holistic health assessment, that wealth assessment. Well, health and wealth, they're all important. Holistic wealth assessment. And this is, you could actually, that's the link. It goes right to my website. Is it showing up? Can you see the caption?
Not right
There it
now.
is.
Now
Okay,
I do.
I think I undid it rather than doing it. I was like, I don't see it all of a sudden. Okay, so that's the holistic wealth assessment, and it really is asking you a bunch of questions about how you want to live your life, money. It's really comprehensive. So this is something you want to just sit down with. You don't have to do it in one shot. Take your time about it, and you'll find it on my website. It looks like this, just so you know exactly what to see. And there's a little form, and then you can receive it and via email. So it's super easy, and I hope it's a helpful resource. Any other final thoughts, Marisol?
Stay tuned for our next little segment. You don't want to miss it. And if this was valuable, share it with a loved one, what you learned today.
Agreed. Please share it. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. We make these short and sweet. We try to get done in around 10 minutes, and we went a little over it, but that's okay. Have a great day, Marisol. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, and we'll see you in another 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.